Hey everybody, what's up? This is Retrokid Reviews, back on product reviews because there's not really much movies out there that I'm going to be talking about for the next couple of weeks. So I figured why not blow some or kill some time with Marvel Legends Update, which is basically this long overdue Astonishing X-Men run. Full disclosure, aside from Emma, which I'm going to be getting in a few minutes for the size comparisons, I don't have a complete team to basically make a Astonishing X-Men. I know Legends has already finished the first wave of the team, which in this particular two-packs case, Kitty Pryde Colossus. I do have Emma from that run. I don't have Scott from that run, or a blue and yellow Logan to represent, I guess, the first wave figure that came out a few months ago. So we're gonna basically I'm gonna try my best to kit bash a better version of it for the socials because I kind of wanted to make my first wave of the pictures to be about this particular two-pack and then the Astonishing team itself. But for those who don't know, this particular era of the comics, this is when Joss Whedon, yes, that one, but before he was crazy, actually wrote a decent run for not only this version of the team for X-Men, but a good case for Kitty and Colossus's relationship at the time. By that I mean, if we go to the back of the box, in the blurb, it says that Kitty Pryde returns to the Xavier Institute to teach a new generation of mutants, but is astonished, hence where we get the title of the run here, to discover that her former love, Colossus, resurrected from the dead, which was kind of a thing long before Krakoa, for those who have been reading the modern comics. And while I got these guys onto the side, I do want to talk about the packaging real quick. It's very faithful to the John Cassaday art. I think these could be pulls from specific issues. I don't know which one exactly, so again, let me know in the comments down below. Also, no links to the trades for this run in general. I think it's under the Marvel Knights banner, so again, it's been a while. That's still in print in your local comic shops. Again, let me know in the comments. So, this is the side art, which again is probably a window blurb from, I don't know which specific issue. It's definitely not Legends making their own, like, version of the run or, like, taking their own liberties. What I can say is the final side half of the box is definitely from an issue from the book, because I did a bit of quick Google searching. Also, pay no attention to the G.I. Joe Cobra guys. I had to use them for the socials to shoot. If you guys have already seen it on my Instas in the lead up to this review, if I was a good content creator. So let's go see if my Google reserves. There we go. Yeah, you could already tell the big takeaways is not really much. You can tell it's definitely a screen grab from issue 6 from the run, which is actually the biggest defining feature for pretty much all the covers, is a good I guess indication of Kitty and Peter's time in the comics. I'm gonna go and just say Peter for the sake of time, mainly because I don't want to get into the specifics of how to say Pietro or just Peter's name in general with Russian accents. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, let's, speaking of him, let's get to Colossus first and finish off the video with size comparisons and a little bit of Kitty talk when it comes to her body mold. So, in Colossus's case, he is a beefy boy. I think he's like the biggest dude I think I have in a Legends sculpt. I know there's a lot of Hulk figures over the years. Also, my local comic shop has a Professor Hulk, which unironically was $10 less than this two-pack. More on the price in a minute, but for the usual rigmarole, we have a very decent double-jointed elbow. We have, I think if you saw Rebel Darno's video, there was a good case in the ball cup here for the traditional big guy shoulder ball joint that they were trying to probably modify to trick us into a I think a butterfly joint. But when you get to the front of the figure, it's just a basic diaphragm joint that can barely crunch in his case, because I think older Colossus's figures, and I think even some Deadpool or Deadpool Part 2 figures might have a better, deeper, and probably ab crunch cuts. So if there's any case for modification, if anyone does that, there you go. Double jointed knee, however, is pretty much on the ball. The only thing that's keeping him from kicking his own butt, his metal butt, is maybe a bit of flex for me, and obviously a very slimmed down version of what usually is the muscular body mold for big guys like this. So no boot cut on the shins. However, you get a decent ankle pivot, and because of how hefty Colossus is, he is very stable than I think he would be. As for the splits, it's about a standard issue, and yeah, you do get a thigh cut, so there is something there. I am very much aware the head articulation is pretty decent. I think he's got the old, yeah, he's got the old cut, mainly because how huge this version of his head is. Speaking of which, I'm probably going to keep the neutral head on because though the Angry Ingy head is pretty obvious to use in like combat shots and most I want to say action poses you're going to want to do with this guy if you're going to photo shoot with him. I'm not taking out the splayed hands, which I think is supposed to be grippers for Peter in this case. But yeah, it's a good head sculpt. The alt head is not the worst with this 2-pack because unfortunately, I believe I'm on my generational run of having decent alt heads. May have bit me in the butt with Kitty, so let's have her ex-boyfriend be to the side right here so that we can talk about Kitty. So, starting off the top, we have a very nice neutral but sorta, I think for the run, serious Kitty as represented to, I think, the debut issue cover from John Cassaday's art. Let me go zoom that in real quick. Yeah, you could kind of see that there. And yeah, this is a good reminder if you're going to Google search which was the main 5 in that roster. Aside from Emma, like I said I have earlier, I got to get first appearance of this version of Beast. The Astonishing Scott suit and the Astonishing blue and yellow Wolverine. The big difference in his case, and I think I might have mentioned this in my top 5 Wolverine costumes to see, that I want to see in the new game, is that the fins for his head sculpt was a little bit more less pronounced than it was in, I want to say, Deadpool and Wolverine's case. I was trying to be that costume. But we're not here for Logan, we're here for these two. So, first of all, she's got a upgraded double-jointed knee, which is really good. I think she's running on a Shriek body mold, because you can definitely tell on most of the, I want to say, waist down. I wish I had time to zoom in the zipper, go to Robotono's video, but the lining is better than it looks. Let me take Locky off, but with that said, basic Locky we've seen earlier. I think I've had the demon version from, Magic that had a very fun time with Kitty, if you know their relationship. So the cool thing about at least this head sculpt is that there is ponytail articulation, but I think in my case I'm going to try my best to gingerly splay it in certain angles because I kind of don't want to loosen, or in this particular case, if you see here, pop the joint out. Aside from that, for the neutral head, the photoreal is surprisingly works best with the Cassaday art that they kind of sculpted here. In Kitty's shoulder joint, I think it's from previous body molds, but there's a bit of a detent. I could be wrong. However, since this is technically the Shriek body mold, it does have double jointed elbow, but cuts it right about there. So let me see if I could trick it underneath. No, I don't think I can for time. No, I can't do a break on this one. I know I did break it in the middle. Yeah, right here. So I might have stiffness running wild once again for my luck with this body mold. So one other thing, she does have 2 splay hands and a all head, just like Colossus. However, this is where my bad luck keeps coming in. Her alt head, unfortunately, let me see if I could get Locky right here. This is not how you do it, by the way. It's supposed to, yeah. The tail is supposed to grip around her right side of the shoulder, not the left side of the shoulder. You'll probably see that in my socials. Yeah. It could be my wiping on the brow, but something on the old head, which is supposed to be the more hair down, bubbly personality that Kitty usually is in the comics until I want to say the fall of Kokoro going into I forgot. Astonishing? No, damn it, I had the team name that she was in right after Cocoa. My bad in advance. Wiki down below. So, yeah, we have a bit of a hair lining situation. You probably could barely see it, but it is way more noticeable than in person than it is here. So, no 4K watchers because yeah, that splotchy little outline right there, you can kind of see it on the corner edge, but it is dominating a good third of the lining. Aside from that, it's a decent bubbly normal hair down personality. It's not uncanny valley than most I guess chipper head sculpts are. The hair is actually not bad on it, so I'm gonna go pop it in real quick so we can finish up with some size comparisons, because I really want to get to that. Because her ball joint is the traditional drill down neck articulation that we've been getting lately in older figures and newer figures and all characters these days. And the old head does pretty well. Let me get the splayed hand to finish up, because I think I missed a good chunk of the overlay. There is some in Peter's arm gauntlets. It's like the only actual overlay there. In case, same thing here, and she has a floater belt like Laura does for her all different Wolverine. So we're gonna show the floater real quick. It's in the glove cuff link right here and here. But regardless, I do love the lining. This has been like the go-to like suit design that most comic run, let me wake up this up, sorry, that most comic runs after have pretty much based on this design of Kitty over the years. So with that said, let's get to size comparisons to close out the video. Let's do the guys first before we get to Kitty, because there's a bit of a difference between her and Magic, who I brought. Speaking of which, let's get Colossus' sister here. Yeah, you can already tell he is dwarfing over Ileana, rightfully so. He is basically the big brother of the two throughout whichever era of the comics you read them with. I did read, I think, the 5-issue miniseries following up after the Ashes era of the comics, like one of the post-Krakoa stories, long story short there. Fun romp, they were back at their hometown in Russia, it was a whole thing there. I might pick up the trade just to basically keep that, because I kind of want to know more about their history. That might have got retconned or retold to death, so that's kind of where we are. Now for the fun part for Colossus's case, comparing him to me. And by that, if you're new to my channel, the V from Cyberpunk that I kit bashed a few accessories on to look like, well, you know, me for figure form content. And right away, you can tell old Uncle Todd ain't got nothing with Peter over here, because, yeah, he's easily the tallest 7-incher I've had since pretty much the majority of the McFarlane line. So that's interesting to see nonetheless. So one other thing, I do have some X-Men characters that I thought were chunky guys that could show off the heft, if anything else, with Peter over here. So we got Cable and Bishop I used in my previous X-Men 97 short. Go to that in the cards. And yeah, by like a hair in everyone's cases, he is, well, shoulder length wise, he's taller than Lucas. Same thing here also for Nathan. I wouldn't mind if they do another run back of this version of the figure. I kind of wouldn't mind having like some sort of like clipping kind of attachment for an effect part of like showing off that Colossus's armored skin is basically very durable with like bullets and stuff like that for shooter bumps, kind of action poses you want to do with army builders later down the road. So that's basically it. So for for Colossus. Now, for Kitty, you can already tell, I think she's supposed to be not as tall as this version of Ileana in Magic's case. Also, forgot to mention, she has traditional, I want to say ankle pivots from like the duck feet era of female body molds. I am trying my best to get them in the same shot. My apologies, kind of running a little long in this video, gonna be real with you, but it is a 2-pack, so bear with me. And here we go. And totally not making it awesome and gay. Happy post-Pride, everybody. For any of my LGBTQ Pride queer subscribers, just letting you know, the queer baiting is not going to stop with these two. Going to be real with you. Other than that, yeah, you can definitely tell that Ileana's running an older body mold. I think her waist articulation is better, or at least the sculpt is. Could be, I don't know. I think they're supposed to be even height nowadays in the comics. I don't know on who got resurrected the most. I want to say maybe Ileana. I know Kitty got resurrected during Cocoa. It was like one of her biggest things. It was that, and I think in the Astonishing run, they closed out with her being stuck in a rocket for a good year and a half in publication before going into, I want to say, taking over the school after Schism, and then I also think a Guardians of the Galaxy run where she almost married Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord. Yeah, one of the main jokes, and I think Kitty's types in the comics, if you read the wikis, that she loves a lot of dudes named Peter, so other than showing my very grody arm aside, let's finish off with another female body mold that I've been using for pretty much ever. Is Laura in her All New, All Different. Kind of makes sense that she'd be a little bit taller. I think she's supposed to be older than Laura by like a couple of years, comics-wise, so kind of edges out. And also, since this is a Wolverine character, yes, you can definitely tell I want to do a fastball special pose with not just her, but with Logan, or whatever version of the Wolverine family. So yeah, Colossus was the I guess originator of the fastball special. So yeah, you can kind of see where this is gonna go if I do that. So on to mod tips, and then we're gonna probably go end this video on some scores. In Kitty's case, everyone has figured out the sticky tack method to just take out the diaphragm joint and have her phase through any romantic shots you want to do with Peter over here in Colossus's case. Aside from that, the only thing I really could have tricked was mostly the hand phasing through guys. Just like stick the peg into like a specific spot with the army builder you see here. So that's kind of how that's going to work. So judgment time and overall scores. In Kitty's case, she's going to be a straight 8 out of 10. It's an average body mold, but does punch its weight a lot better than it looks. Let me get this head sculpt out of the way, which is where the 8 comes in. Yeah, if it wasn't for that splotch on the hairline, I would say it would be my best alt head I think I've got for the female body mold. The fact that a female body mold figure got alt heads in general is pretty good. There's not really much I can knock against the ponytail. I'm gonna have to get used to try my best not to gingerly over crunch it or over swoop it on certain angles. I didn't want this to be my default head. I kind of wanted it to be the hair down, which everyone kind of knows Kitty to have. This is like her signature hair throughout all eras of the comics. So that's kind of where the 8 lands. As for Colossus, it is a younger body mold. I know there have been older Colossuses with better articulation, specifically on the crunch front, but for the shoulders, it is definitely punching above its weight. The double jointed knees are pretty good. The ankle pivots is a lot more sturdier than Kitty's. Again, this is borrowing off of previous ankle pivots from previous female character body molds, so that's kind of where the problems lie. In Colossus's case, I am planting him right now, in case you could tell, as a big test for the rest of this video, but he is a sturdy dude. I hope if I ever get Hulk comic figures like a Professor Hulk later down the road, because it is, like I said, $10 less than this 2-pack. This 2-pack in the wild at your local comic shop, at least for me, was $70. Now, for some weird reason, if you can find this at a decent sale on Amazon, you could get this about a good $10 to $15 less than that. You could potentially get this around $45 to $50, which $50 is basically the base cost for this 2-pack in general, which honestly, for a 2-pack is not a bad price. Again, it's older sculpts that everyone has seen with similar body molds over the years. However, this is my first go around with these two characters. I've been needing a Kitty and Colossus, either in the movies or either in I think the movies or comics in Colossus' case, or just whatever modern version of her costumes. I know Astonishing is like her biggest leap in like her costuming over the years. I do want her modern costumes that has been in, I think, X-Men United, I think, nowadays, for the monthly version of the team. So that's kind of where we are. And with this video running way longer than I thought I was going to do, what is your overall thoughts with this 2-pack? Did you complete the Astonishing team? Did you get Beast, Scott, and Logan, and the diamond version of Emma to complete the team? Should they get armor? And I believe Danger Room became a character as well, which might also pop up in X-Men 97. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below. And with that being said, and speaking of X-Men 97 talk, hands here to the end cards to this video. Go to Kitty over here for my previous react for X-Men 97 that debuted the box and the preview for this review. Other hand, here to, I believe, my previous review, which I think was either Ghost in the Shell or I believe some other video, so hand over there. And yeah, go to these two here to sub the channel, hit the notification bell down below. Hype point this video if you are new to the channel, because I am definitely going to try my best to finish a version of this team. I have a bunch of Logans. I only have the non-diamond Emma and a version of Scott in the blue and streamlined suit to fill out a version of the Astonishing team. But if you could do it, I highly recommend it. So with that all being said, this is Retrokid Review saying, so am I gonna have to like figure out their relationship or talk about the X-Men Gold era where they almost got married? Because yes, that was a thing, and I think it was because of their age difference and some other relationship reasons. Been a while to mention those kinds of hiccups story-wise. So again, if you got the time and the money, please go pick up this 2-pack. It is worth the time and money. Is it worth $70 if you find it in the wild in a local comic shop? No. Should it be worth $45 and under? Absolutely. Or, I guess, in this case, Astonishing.